kids! Today's video is going to be a lot different. I am not going to be cutting up anything or sewing anything. Today's video is gonna be a very raw one. I don't think I've done a video where I just sat in front of the camera and just talked. I don't think I've done that for like 2 years. I know I'm gonna cry. I got my little box of tissues right here. I really don't want to make this video, but I know it definitely helps me heal and it helps me to continue on in life. And I know the last time I made one of these type of videos, a lot of you guys reached out to me and told me how it kind of helped. So I'm kind of asking for that in return. Wait, I'm like talking into this video without explaining what this video is about. So if you guys are subscribed to my channel, you guys obviously know that I had a dog named Oliver. I've had him for 7 years, and unfortunately this past October I had to put him down. That was definitely the most heart-shattering thing I've ever had to do. And a lot of you guys probably wouldn't have known that I had to put him down or that he passed away unless you guys followed me on Instagram. I felt like this video was very needed because he's been there since the beginning, since I started my YouTube channel, and he's in a majority of my videos. I think in my heart I wanted to do a video. Oh, I gotta cry already. Oh, I didn't even get into any details yet. I wanted to do a video just for him. He has been such a big part of my YouTube channel career, and I also put together a little video at the very end, or maybe I'll just play it now. I'm not sure whether I'm gonna play it now or later. We'll see when I edit this video. I don't even know if I've even made one of these kind of really sappy, sad videos, so here we go. There's a first for everything. I honestly feel like I'm one of those YouTube couples about to make a breakup video. That's honestly what it feels like. So I just filmed that whole first segment with a little fuzzy in my hair, and I didn't notice until now. Continuing on, I first want to say thank you to everyone who reached out through Instagram. That's where I mainly posted a lot of the things that were happening, and a lot of you guys shared your stories, and it honestly really helped me a lot with healing and understanding and going through such a big loss in my life. YouTube is my biggest platform, and I'm hoping that I get to hear more of your guys' stories and how you guys were able to heal, because for me personally, talking to other people and see what you guys went through and how you guys were able to overcome this loss, I know has been really helpful. So yeah, I just want to hear more of your guys' stories because I am still healing. I'm still trying to push through. So I think it is going to be a little hard to understand for those that maybe never had a pet that's passed away. I know a lot of people don't really see it the same as a family member or friend that passed away, but Oliver was literally like my son. He was my little furry baby. Oliver is me and I am Oliver, so when he passed away, I felt like a big chunk of me also left. I don't know how to explain it. Big part of my soul just disappeared. I haven't been able to find my soul back. I honestly haven't been the same for a while. I can tell you flat out, I have not been the same person. Deep down inside, there's something about me that just isn't the same anymore, and I think because I've only known myself with Oliver. So now that he's gone, I'm kind of like, who am I? Like, I don't know any other life without Oliver. Oh my god. I made sure I got to a point where I wasn't crying every single second to make this video. It's been 3 months now and I felt like this was the right time, but I'm still crying. I actually dropped a lot of money on this company that makes stuffed animals like your pet. I made one of Oliver the day after he passed away and I want to unbox it with you guys. So it's kind of like I'm not unboxing this by myself. What is up with all these fuzzies? My only other pet that really passed away that I remembered, I took that one really, really hard. The difference between my other family dog that passed away was that he was our family dog, so we kind of all shared him, whereas Oliver, he was like my dog, my own. I begged my dad to get me a Frenchie for Christmas, and he actually got it for me, and I promised to take care of him with all my heart. And I promised to give him the best life that I could possibly give him. Oh my gosh, am I gonna even be able to make it through this video? Honestly, I promised my dad that I would take care of him no matter what, and I would be the best dog mom ever. Sorry, I had to take a mini break there. It's always just been me and him. I still haven't found amongst my friends and family kind of the same relationship that me and Oliver had. Ever since me and my family all split up, we all just moved out into different areas. My mom and dad divorced, so they split up as well. So we're all just living on our own, and ever since then, it's been me and Oliver for like 7 years. I've moved 3 times ever since then, and it's just been me and him in my car and just like traveling. And I felt that because I had Oliver always, that I never really needed anyone, and I was very independent. I didn't need anyone else in the world because I had Oliver. I felt so safe living by myself for like the past like 2.5 whatever years. Now I'm a lonely hoe. So as you can see, he was basically my entire life, and I revolved everything around him. I guess I'll dive into now what ended up happening. Literally is the craziest thing. He seemed completely fine 1 week, and then literally the next week he was gone. Like, I had to put him down. Oliver's a Frenchie. They all have medical problems, and I knew that going into this. So he definitely has had medical problems ever since he was a baby. For the past 2-ish years, I've noticed that he would every once in a while throw up bile and throw up his kibble. So I would take him to the vet, and they would always diagnose him with pancreatitis, and he'd get meds, and of course he would get better. This year though, he was throwing up a little bit more often. Didn't think too much of it. It would usually just be his kibble right after, or water. Usually what the vets would tell me was that, you know, sometimes dogs overeat, or they eat too fast, or they drink too much water, and it's like too much for their stomach, so they end up throwing it up. Around August, he was throwing up quite often, and it was a little alarming. I always thought, you know, maybe it's his food, so I would change his food. I always thought it was a food thing. Come September is when everything kind of went to poop. He was throwing up a lot. It got to a point where I was like, okay, I can't do this right now. Like, I need to take him to the vet. Same thing, they diagnosed him with pancreatitis and they gave him meds. Unfortunately, that didn't help him at all. It got to a point where he stopped eating because everything that he would eat, he would end up throwing it up. So eating wasn't a thing that he wanted to do anymore. So he stopped drinking and he stopped eating, and it passed too many days of where he wouldn't eat. And the vet suggested that he stay at the hospital, and that way they could feed him through a tube, because at this point he needs nutrients in his body to function. And from there is when everything went downhill. So the doctor called me the next day and was like, you know, Oliver is just not doing well. Do you mind if I do an ultrasound? And you know, I agreed. A lot of things has happened to him, and he was always able to get through it and like push through it. I really wanted him to come back home. It's not that I didn't think it was that serious, but I didn't think that this would be it. And then after the vet called me back, and he was like, Oliver needs to be seen by a specialist because we found free roaming fluid in his abdomen area, and we also found that his stomach is covered. Ooh, his stomach is covered in a giant mass, and we can't really take care of that because that hospital can only do so much, and Oliver needs to be seen by a specialist so that they could test the mass and see if it's cancerous or what exactly it is. At that point, we had to pull him from that specific hospital and then move him to another one. And honestly, that was the worst week of my life. I'm sure you guys probably saw on my Instagram stories. I was just not very happy. Hi guys, so I want to give you guys an update. I just got back from the hospital from visiting Oliver, and he might not even be coming home as scheduled. So if you guys could please pray for him, that would honestly mean the world to us. So I got a call the next day from the specialist at the new hospital. I didn't get the happy news that I was hoping. She called me and it's actually really hard to still talk about, I guess. She called me and said that the mass was cancerous and they found lots of free roaming fluid everywhere else, and that I forget which organ exactly, but something was punctured. And I freaking hate this word, but she said that the cancer and the stage that he was in was terminal. And unfortunately, there was at that point, there's nothing that we could do about it. That was by far one of the worst phone calls I've ever gotten. So at that point, he was still not eating, and I understand why. It's because just everything was not feeling it. She told us when we got to the hospital, I think we brought him home on Friday, and she said he might have until Sunday with the meds that he's on, but if he's not eating, he's not going to be able to continue, if that's all he had left. It's best if I take him home so that he's here at home. I think one of my biggest fears was losing him if he was by himself and he happened to pass away at the hospital alone, scared, in a cold cage. I think that was one of my biggest, I think if that happened, that probably would have pushed me over to the edge. So we took him home and I made his bed and everything. Tried to feed him with a little syringe, water, anything that would be good, but he just kept throwing everything up. Throughout the night, I was watching him and I noticed that he was suffering. It was really hard for him to breathe. He couldn't really stand up. He was so weak. I don't think he got an ounce of sleep that night because he was just so uncomfortable, and I didn't get an ounce of sleep either because I was just watching him, and it made me really sad because a week ago he was completely fine, and then now I'm looking at him and all of his main organs were failing, and it was just really, really hard to see. But I knew he was holding on so much, and I know he knew how sad I was, and I knew he just wanted to be there for me, and it was really selfish for me to even want to keep him until Sunday, to want to keep him here on this earth while he's suffering just so you can have him a few more days. That's so selfish of you. It wasn't even 4 or 5 hours from me bringing him home until the point I realized that I needed to put him down. I knew Frenchies didn't have that long of a lifespan. Their lifespan is about 8 to 12, I think-ish years. But I didn't think he was gonna leave me at 7 years. It was really hard to speak it into existence and agree that I needed to put him down. He was suffering so bad that I needed to find a doctor ASAP, and I woke my butt up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, just to start calling different doctors around the area that do home euthanization, and it was so hard. I called so many places. I was finally able to find a doctor. Honestly, bless her soul, because she didn't even serve my area, where I live, but she came anyways. I think she knew how much I was hurting. I actually wrapped him in this blue faux fur blanket because he loves faux fur like his mom. So Nava Rose of me, but I made a faux fur coat out of it. That way I could wear it all the time and just be reminded of him. I posted it on my Instagram. They built a mini dog park in my apartment complex, and the person that was painting the mural saw Oliver, and she asked me if she could take a picture of him so she could use him for the painting. And it took a while for that dog park to actually open. However, on his last day on earth, ironically, the dog park opened, and we were able to spend the last morning that he had in the dog park. And it was really sad because he would have loved it for sure. He would have loved the dog park. He was able to play in it. For those that have had to put down a pet, you guys know how hard it is. Even though it was one of the hardest decisions of my life. As he was passing through, after he finally fell asleep, per se, was put down, even though it hurt me so much that he left, there was also a sense of peace that rushed over me. I knew that he wasn't suffering anymore and that he was finally in doggy heaven. that whole night I didn't get any sleep, and it just broke my heart into bits and pieces every minute that he was awake because I knew that he was hurting. So it ended up being that he had a really bad case of lymphoma cancer. He was so late in the stage that there was nothing that could have been prevented or could have been done at that point. The cancer has been growing for quite some time now. I know some of you might say, like, was he being misdiagnosed? I think he did actually get pancreatitis, but I think that was a smaller issue, and there was like a bigger issue that was actually happening, which was the cancer. The only way that we even knew that there was cancer was after we did that ultrasound and after the vet found the big mass on his stomach. What I took away from this whole experience is that just as much as we need annual visits to the doctor just to check up on and make sure everything is okay, I think it's so important that we do the same for our dog. And especially if you know that your dog has a lot of medical issues, he was the best dog that I could have asked for. I loved him so much, and I know that he loved me back. I'm definitely gonna miss all the moments that I have with him because I'm not gonna have another dog like him. I think having you guys here with me and sharing your stories has helped me immensely. I obviously know that I'm not alone in this, whether it's been a family dog of yours or cat or bird or any pet or spider, whether it was a family pet or your own pet like how Oliver was to me. It hurts no matter what. I wish I just had a little bit more time with him. I do want to get into this unboxing. I actually also have a little portrait that was sent to me as well, so I want to unbox this with you guys because I don't want to do it alone. It's a little portrait of Oliver in, I think, an astronaut outfit. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cry for this one because I see pictures of him all the time, so we'll see. I don't want to open it. Oh, it's backwards. Oh, this is so cute! He's in a little astronaut outfit and it says Oliver on his name tag. It's so adorable. I don't know why I'm nervous for this one. Like I said, this was not a sponsored post. If it was, that would have been great. It was expensive. Like, my wallet was not happy. Also, vet medical bills are no joke. I literally spent $8,000 in that 1 week span that he was at 2 hospitals. It was insane. Oh. A note to make sure that they got rolls. And they put this like weird like little roll thing. I honestly love it so much. He's not as like cuddly, he's like kind of hard. I miss him so much. I'm getting tears all over him. Before I end this video, I do want to just say thank you so extremely much to you guys. You guys have really been supportive of me when I was going through that tough time after Oliver passed. Like, a lot of you guys just sent so many DMs. You guys were just sending me so much love and sending love to Oliver and like sending prayers for him when he was in the hospital. You guys don't know how much you mean to me, so I love each and every one of you. So I thank you guys so much. I do want to say thank you to the vets and the doctors that helped him, and my family and friends for supporting me always. With that, I just want to say that's all I have for the video. I don't know how long this video was, but thank you for sticking around to the very end. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in my next video where I won't be crying and we'll probably be sewing something. I love you guys so much. Bye. Bye.